before we go out tonight. And if you don't know about this account, if you're just coming across it, IMC Nation's a movement, hashtag IMC Nation, founded by AZD, the bald, tattooed Persian guy spitting wisdom on all the clips throughout this account. You also see some clips of me, but that's what I'm doing. I'm a messenger of IMC Nation. I've been learning from him for years. And I invite all and any, oh shit. And if you on this account, if you're just coming across it, IMC Nation's a movement, hashtag IMC Nation, founded by, I went to my own YouTube stream. So invite any and all conversations. Larry Davis, what's up, bro? Because that's really where it's going to be the most productive. I don't know what you guys are thinking out there, and so I'll give a little bit of context on this guy AZD and why you're listening to me. Even let me get, cameras are both ways. Some people say it's unprofessional to smoke on camera. Yeah, I think if it's unprofessional to you, you might have a little bit of problem coming around Sin City. You be the judge if it's valid or not. So I'll tell you in a second here. You know, science has to be grounded in evidence. And I have a PhD in science, environmental science, which has a lot to do with physics and ecology. Math, for example, everybody says math is all universal and important, is only to solve physics problems or physical problems, count things, which evolves into physics problems. So if you're Matt McAndrew, or no, who's that? Oh, that's someone else. What's up? That's Gavin, Chris Gavin, or something like that. What's up, bro? Come live, bro. Let's talk game. So you got to have evidence to any science to make it valid. If you have it, that's why the problem with all the red pill guys and whatever, that they have all these theories like fresh and fit and whatever, but they don't get girls. They may get some girls around them if you're wealthy and all confident and loud and everything. Like girls are going to come around, but get a girl. How do you hear her out? How do you understand? How do you lead? How do you give certainty where there's uncertainty? And the reality is attraction is super, super, super important. It is the most important in the beginning. And when you're playing a small game, when you're a big fish in a small pond kind of thing. Hold on, this thing just slid down. Oh, I got to tighten this thing. Big fish in a small pond. Social dynamics is just kind of clever tricks. When you start playing in a big field where there's multiple options in present time, like you go to a venue where there's a lot of people, or you go to some gathering where there's a lot of options, seeming options. In the chimpanzee world, it's a bunch of guys and girls. Then you're really starting to play the game. And there's a game there that there's a lot of big fish in the ocean. And that's really where AZD's prowess comes out. That's what you got to see. That the character you're watching in these clips is immaculate around women. And it's amazing. In person, it's even better. If you ever tap into his live streams, you can tell he's charismatic and, you know, certain of himself and really clever and smart. Like he knows a lot. He'll break things down in a way that, And the more you listen, the more you see the more you'll understand his language is very surgical, talks in layers, and you'll actually hear more layers the more you hear of it. It's actually that good. I don't know what else to say about it. Like I was also a guy on social media 10 years ago that had just found him, and I had these impressions. Okay, certainty, confidence, like obviously gets women, clearly very good at it, talks about teaching it, whatever. And then the more I would learn from him, the more I would see the layers of what he's saying. And it's like, man, this guy's like a philosopher. This guy's deep. I was a PhD student at the time, so I was admiring books and, you know, people that were well-spoken and whatever, famous for their intellect. And so I came across the pickup artists and the game and social dynamics, and it made a lot of sense because it was built on science. But the guys were always like, do I really want to learn from that guy? Like, it's all right. They're cool. That's super, super cool that they can find women. But then when I saw AZD that had find women in relationships for a long time, and that they were on camera with them, that they would interact, you could see run businesses with them. Like it was life and game had merged. And that was 10 years ago. Now it's just, he hasn't stopped evolving. So the systems are just way more precise. And that's what's happening here. So the guys that join his mentorship programs or get involved, even if you're just watching these social media clips, every truth bomb is straightening out your thinking, opening up space in your head, removing noise, removing clutter. And those are just little clips, publicly acceptable, free clips that we chop up and put out there. The actual teachings clear out a lot, and you'll see that you haven't been living for yourself. You've been living through a mind that was conditioned by other people all your life. And that's cool to see. Wow, what a realization. But then what are you going to do about it? Oh, I'm going to start living for myself, or what have you. You are not aware of all the agreements that you have with common folk, with the culture, with your upbringing. You have so many silent agreements that you're not aware of, and you become aware of them in time. You look at it, but how fast do you want to move through your evolution? Because it's going to take you a lot of lifetimes to get through all those garbage beliefs. And the problem is you die, memories erased, you return, you're cultured again, and you don't have all the same tools that you had the last lifetime to handle your mind. You got to start over, basically. Clean slate, but not a clean slate. Polluted slate. Clean, polluted slate. Born again. So you got to get it this life. It's that serious, because you're living through ideas that other people gave you that don't have your best interest at heart. Maybe mom and dad did, but they were struggling to survive so much, they never revisited their ideas and beliefs. They got it from somewhere, and they got it from somewhere, and they got it from somewhere. And at some point, life was so hard that nobody had time to self-inspect and work on themselves. They might apprentice for a job or something, but it's not like personal development, public speaking, social dynamics. Now we have the luxury of looking at that. And we have a guy who conquered the game and then unplugged from society, not even needing that, because teaching game is whatever, entrepreneurship, and then having a women's fitness center supporting his women through their own efforts. They support themselves through his guidance and mentorship and whatever, but they work themselves. So totally independent of the opinions of other people. And a lot of people like to say that, and the only people that really get away with saying it are super wealthy, and they still care about people's opinions. You can tell. And they're catered to, so people don't defy them because of that. Attraction is not a choice. And I'll see it tonight, and I see it every night I get to go out with AZD, that the field, as we call it, the people in the venue, in the room, in the space, within earshot, within eyesight, are magnetized because of how he looks, because of how he dresses, because of how he moves, which has a lot more stillness than you think. His stillness is stiller than you think. And his movement is more unpredictable than you can predict. And when he does one, he's doing one. When he does the other, he's doing other. And there's a little melding and whatever. But I'm just saying that his movement trances people in the venue and just magnetizes them where they can't look away, or they can't look towards. They have to walk by and look away. It polarizes. And that's necessary for a magnetic, strong attraction with a woman. And he does it with so many women. It's the field. Like I said, the field gets magnetized by it. And then how do you do that day after day after day? Hundreds of times I've been out with him, and he just keeps doing it. It's not a thing that he does. It's the framework and the structure he carries into the situation, which is his mindset. And that's what he teaches. AZD's mindset, when you learn it, makes you magnetic to your environment. And it's literally a mindset. It's not hold your shoulders like this and walk like that. 1 in 10,000 teachings is that. He has taught posture, but it's such a small thing compared to all the things he teaches. It's ridiculous. It's a mindset that you carry your posture with a mindset. And how he does that is through so much imagination, jumping universes, posing questions and alternatives, and feeding you a language and a syntax of words that you don't ever get to hear in your life. You could read a fantasy novel and you would approach some semblance of it, but it would be incoherent with your life. It would just be some fantasy of a unicorn somewhere or whatever. To make your life, to word it to yourself and to the outside, where you express yourself in a fantastic way that captures imagination. That's the beginning of a real thorough gift of gab. But now if you can ground that fantasy, instead of just being all in the clouds with your fantasy, but grounded in a way that the person improves, that they function in life better, that they communicate better. But through fantasy stories, they get better. It's like, what the hell is that? It'd be like a fantasy novel that teaches self-help or something like that. And now if you ground it even further into the real reason that men are ambitious and women are trying to look beautiful, they're trying to hook up together and have some security, have some vulnerability, have some growth, have some power, a power couple. Everybody wants to be a power couple, but you got to be a strong couple. You got to be strong individuals. So what if that fantasy book also taught you to improve yourself and have better relationships, but it was a fantasy? Have you ever noticed that imagination feels better a lot of times than just looking at a screen or doing your daily tasks? When you imagine things, you really feeling good. If you lived life as a fantasy, you'd feel really good. So there enters AZD into the venue, some fantastical human with multiple relationships, all grounded in reality, but living in fantasy. It's literally manifestation. It's vision, make it happen. All his relationships, and he steps in, and his movement is free, and his volume is perfect. It's loud enough to be heard. It's not too loud to disturb anything. He projects at specific distances depending on how the person is, and of course, there's music in the venue, and he can throw his voice, and it's nothing more than super coherence. He's super stable and unperturbed by beauty, by money, by celebrity. I've seen it all. I mean, I haven't seen every celebrity and every beauty, but I've seen those things. I've seen celebrity, money, beauty, power, dangerousness, and the man is stable and present, able and ready to respond. And so you see the most amazing dynamics with multiple women that would throw any guy off, and he's orchestrating it. And random women, not the girlfriends, is one thing. I'm talking about in field, new people. And there's guys involved too, and all kinds of things. But it's the women that you really measure the difference between you and him. And that's where you got to be around, because it's not in field. Let's go into the club and record strangers interacting with this guy. What a cheese ball, the guy that has to do that. If you can't demonstrate the results of your pickup with relationship right next to you, who cares if you can pick up somebody in the street? Where did that lead to? Is that the life you want? You want to chase women in the street, and then what? Do you want a relationship? At some point, you got to graduate to you want a relationship. It's not that you chase relationships, but like a guy earlier, man, he's so much cognitive dissonance. Like, doesn't want multiple women. Bro, you can hear it in your voice. You are struggling. And he leads like men's movements. And it's like, bro, are you serious? You don't think all the men you lead are going to someday want a beautiful woman? And how are you going to help them with that? What exactly are you going to teach? You're going to teach them to be like you, all stiff and guarded, and trying to convince me that you've been with your woman 6 years and never, ever think about another woman? Bro, you cut your balls off? Did you take the vax? Like, where's your testosterone? You never think, bro, what man, all transparency, has sex with the same woman for 6 years and never, ever thinks about another woman? He must be very unattractive and is never approached by another woman. That's the thing. And I tell him, I'm like, if a second woman, beautiful, was devoted to you and didn't want to get in the way, was totally cool with your first girl, and like you would turn her away? Yeah, man, because I'm fully complete with the one woman. Oh. We'll see how that pans out. He'll just get weaker and weaker and weaker until he's just as weak as can be, or she leaves him. How many times you got to look around for that? Everybody likes to think they got it right, and that's not going to happen to them. They can see it happens to most people, and they don't really read the books or look at the statistics. If you did, you'd be shocked at how much more it is than you think it is. But no, it won't happen to you. You're good. You've had enough. That's the guy says, I've had enough experience. I've never heard that before, bro. Do you want to know that a lot of guys say that? And later it's found out they're thirsty, they're hungry, they're lonely, and they don't know how to attract a new woman. Man, how do you tell that to a guy? But this isn't game. AZD's not teaching game. He just happens to be the messenger of the game. But it's not game he's teaching. It is. Everybody comes to him for multiple relationships. How do I tell my girl? But he's so far beyond that, because the structure of his life is not how do you tell the new girl that you're going to keep your other 8 girlfriends when she obviously knows. After how many years do you have to handle your first, second, third, fourth, fifth girlfriend on like, I'm going to be with other women? They clearly got it. So it's like that. It's not a thing to be handled anymore. Now, you should ask him maybe about his structure of his life. How do you structure your life so that multiple women are okay with it? Well, that's a pretty good question. See, I've already been studying it, but if I was a new student, I should feed somebody a question like that, because I kind of want to hear just how AZD answers it. Enter the IMC lifestyle. Why we all move to Vegas, why we live in a base with each other. It's actually part of, if you can't live harmoniously with guys that are on the same path as you, then what hope is there of a girl living with you? You lack communication skills. You lack the ability to comfortably confront situations, to navigate misunderstandings, just to clean up after yourself. Like, you lack the habits, too many low value habits. Okay, so that's me lecturing. Marino, You want to come live? Oh, you don't follow. Okay, well, I'll follow you anyway. There you go. Hopefully you liked it. Guys, let's see. Anybody on? I may end it. Winded. Bunch of people on YouTube. What's up? IMC TV. You guys got comments? I don't know how to see your comments here. Is this it? Privately talk with the hosts. No, I don't know how to do this. Maybe you didn't comment. But guys on YouTube, I'm sure you liked it. Okay. What do you guys think? Anybody on? Want to chat? I want to just keep talking. Okay, I'll take a puff of my spliff, and if this is the end, then it's the end. I don't know. Maybe YouTube, you're commenting. I think this is where I would see it, but I don't see it. Maybe test. Somebody type like a thumbs up or something. And let me see if I see it. If I don't see it in like a minute, then I'm trying a new system here. Vessel, what's up? Marino. Maybe you're a girl. I don't know. I'm all talked out, everybody. I've been saying everything. Jay Ramirez, what's up? Let's talk games. Somebody. I just want to share the goodness that I've learned from AZD. Ask me a question or talk to me about your situation. Let's go. All right, I don't see any comments on the YouTube, so maybe it's not coming through there. Oh, I see it. This is the place where the comments are. All right. What's up, brother? I see that you tried to, or maybe I sent a request. Oh, I think I sent the request. Well, there you go. I sent a request. Oh, there it is. What's up?
Hey, wrong way around.
What's up, brother?
Brother?
Hey! You just finished your session with AZD.
I did, and I knew he was going to impress me, bro, but I didn't think he was going to impress me that much. Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Wow. You want me to tell you about it on the live stream?
Whatever is publicly acceptable, like maybe just impact. We could talk privately later.
It all is. So I consider myself a bit of a different breed, man, and for the last 26 years of my life, I find it impossible to find people that I can actually learn off and relate to, and he was all of that. He picked me apart like nobody I've ever witnessed in my life. This is somebody who's high functioning Asperger's, if you want to label it, autism spectrum, whatever. I do
leading Australia, whole movement in Australia. He is high achieving Asperger. Elon Musk over there.
Yeah. So he picked me apart from everything. I was able to talk to him about the eye and the spiritual stuff too, and that was cool. And he was able to word things in a way where it was exactly like my nervous system wanted to hear it.
Exactly.
And I couldn't have got it from anybody else. I couldn't have got it from any counselor or any shrink or anything. No, AZD, he's king. He's king.
That's the way to word it too, man, because nervous system is so unique for each individual. And, I think it's a common place we're all going towards. It's just we have such a personal vocabulary that has the right meanings for us that arrives us at that place. And he's a master of mapping that out and feeding it back to you, because a lot of times our inner voice is not as clear or certain. And that's kind of my experience, and he transmits it, without emotion and just like matter of fact, frank. And it's just surgical. It cuts you up inside and you're like, oh shit, become aware of all this. It like cuts the fog. There's like a fog inside.
Yes, it does. It's there aren't really words for it. I mean, like you were saying, you can only explain it so much, really. But feeling it's another thing. That is it. Yeah.
Right on. Well, that's cool, man. So that's AZD's one-on-one continuum session. Excellent, brother. And I'm sure you'll put it to good use. You have anything else you want to talk about or say?
Yeah, I was also talking about, the future and going forward, regardless of how much I would like to be a part of the IMC, and I would like to do more with you in the future. So, as you know, I'm a little bit unsettled at the moment, but I'm making my plan for my next move, and I do want to be a bigger part of what you guys are doing. If there's anything that I want to stand behind, it's you guys. So you guys are the first that I've met where I feel like I can be open about everything in my head, and I can meet people who will back that and improve on that and add to that.
Yeah.
No, where it's at for me.
Yeah, lead the way, man. There's probably like 7 or 8 guys in Australia, and one of them's a high level guy that he's done a lot with AZD. So he's in Adelaide, and we have an Australia group. So I'll just add you to that. That's probably primarily the thing you could do is reach out to these other Australia guys and spread the good word, because only 2 of you have really gone deep with AZD, and you're just starting your depth, but you have the intelligence to see what it is, and you've been around for a little while, so you've seen it affect other guys, and so that's the best thing, is just be a messenger for it until you get yourself established enough to participate at either the initiated level or the messenger's level.
100%. Yep.
100%. Hell yeah. Well, that was great. I'm glad I stayed on for that. So, all right, man. Well, I was about to end the stream. I was just taking questions, and somehow I randomly invited you to join.
Yeah, I'm glad I could bring the energy over. I'm stoked to have been able to share that. I don't actually know who's watching right now, but yeah, it was wicked. It was wicked. Definitely recommend it to anybody who wants to look at that stuff.
Was it surprising? Did anything about it surprise you?
Just so, talking about my spirituality and my journey, him able to, like, all of the advice he was giving me, it was like he took every aspect into consideration. He was talking about it as if it was coming from my own higher self, like it was coming from me, He was using words that resonated with me, and I don't believe those words would resonate with anyone else. You go to somebody else for help, they're going to give you general advice. The advice he gave was specifically for me, and I think if anybody else heard some of the concepts that he was talking about for me, they probably have no fucking clue what we're talking about.
Yeah.
What I mean, so it made sense to me, and it is specific to the individual of what he's going to say. You really don't know.
Right on.
That's the base.
Appreciate you, brother. That's great. I'm just going to end it on that note. And do you mind if I share just the testimony part of what you said?
Absolutely. Fucking go hard, man.
Hell yeah, brother.
You use whatever for me.
Nice. Well, congratulations.
The more I can help, the better.
Amen. Appreciate you, brother. Salute from Las Vegas. Everybody, that's Jamie. Is that how you say it? I keep every time I read it, I want to say Jaime, because that's how the Mexicans spelled Jaime here. And for the longest time, we had a student named Jaime who I kept calling Jamie, and it annoyed him. And so now I've flipped. I'm on the other end where I keep wanting to say Jaime.
But AI was calling me something like that too, and we're just like, oh, fuck it, it's all right,
Fuck it.
But I've got to, so this is me signing off from Papamoa, and it's funny, I think I can see my mate Ocean might have jumped on here.
That's what it was, yeah.
Like, what's happened to J-Mo? He's been gone for 2 months, now he's on live stream. Anyway.
That's true. That's a stat, brother. All right, J-Mo, see you, brother. Be the best. Fuck the rest, everybody. Os. Okay, well, you guys got to hear it on YouTube. You guys should DM me.